This video will demonstrate how to review, grant, deny, or revoke permission requests from students who would like to enroll in your class. There are several reasons why a student may require permission, such as not having met the requisites or a class is closed. You can find the full list of permission types and statuses on the University Registrar's website. Now let's take a look at some permissions. Log into SIS with your CWRU ID and associated passphrase. From Faculty Home, click the My Schedule and Rosters tile. You'll see two permission items on the menu to the left: Permission Requests Add and Permission Requests Drop. Permissions to drop a class are only used for a small number of classes, so you may never need this menu option. To review requests that students have submitted to enroll in your class, click Permission Requests Add. A new window will appear. Select one of the available terms. On your left, you'll see a list of the permission statuses along with the total number of requests for each category for that term. Requests that are pending instructor permission are displayed on the right. To select a different status, click the status on the left. Click the Change button at the top to select a different term. The grid containing the permission requests displays the following information: the student's name and ID number. You can hover over the student's name to view the student's reason for requesting permission or click for more student information. It also shows the class, section number, and class number for which the student is requesting permission. You can hover over the class for the meeting days of the class or click for more class information. The grid also shows permission requested, an enrollment status, which indicates if the student is already enrolled in this section, enrolled in another section of the same course, or not enrolled in the course. It shows the date the student used the permission, if that's applicable. It shows the last date and time the request was updated and by whom, the permission status and expiration date, if applicable, and it shows a button to initiate the granting, denying, revoking, or updating of the request. You can click the filter icon to filter the list if needed. You'll select the desired filters and then click Done. To remove all the filters, click the filter icon again and click Reset, and then click Done. Click the Sort item to change the sort order of the list. Click any field once to sort in ascending order, and then click that field again to sort in descending order. Note that only one field can be actively sorted at a time. You can click the Update Status button to grant, deny, or revoke a permission request. A window will open that shows all the permissions that were requested by the student, as well as any new permissions that may now be required for that student to enroll, such as a closed class permission, if a class is closed since the student submitted the initial request. The reason for requesting the permission that the student entered is also included. You can uncheck the box next to a permission type if you don't want to grant it. Please note, because career restrictions are managed by school registrars or administrators, you won't be able to uncheck the career restriction permission. Once actions are completed on a request that includes a career restriction, the request will then be forwarded to the appropriate administrator for further action. Optionally, you can add a comment to the student to be included in the email confirmation and in SIS. Note that comments are required when granting requisites not met permissions for some engineering classes. If you need to, you can change the expiration date, which by default is set to the last day of the term. Once all your updates have been completed, click Grant to grant the student's request or Deny to deny the request. If a request has already been granted, you have the option to click Revoke to revoke the request. Please note, if the student has already enrolled, this will not remove the student from the class. If you need to grant permissions to more than one student at a time and you don't need to add a unique comment for each student, you can grant them all at once. Use the Actions menu to grant, deny, or revoke permission requests en masse. Click the checkbox to the left of the students' names, or click the checkbox at the top of the column to select all the students. Then click the Actions icon and select the action you want to execute. A confirmation page will display where comments to the students or an expiration date, if applicable, can be selected. Then click Grant, Deny, or Revoke as appropriate to complete the process. The action will be applied to all the students, where possible. A message will appear if the action can't be applied to any of the students that you selected. The new status will be reflected immediately if the action is successful, and the student will be removed from the list that is currently being viewed. If needed, email one or more of the students from the Actions menu. You can select the student or students, click Notify Selected, enter the message to be sent, and then click Notify. If a student contacts you directly to request permission for a class and you would like to grant the request before the student attempts to register, you can manually add a permission for the class. To manually add a permission, click the Add Permission Request button at the top of the page. Enter the student's ID number into the Student ID box or click the lookup icon to search for the student. When the results appear, locate the correct student and click anywhere on the student's row. Enter the 4 or 5-digit class number in the class number box or click the lookup icon to search for the class. Permissions may only be added for a class that you are teaching. After the student ID and class number have been selected, click Add. Permissions that are required for the student to enroll in the class are displayed. Enter comments to the student, select an expiration date, and then click Grant. A message is displayed if no permissions are required. Students receive an email when the status of a permission request changes. Please note that granting permission does not enroll the student in the class. This completes the process of reviewing permission requests. Thanks for watching. Please email courses@case.edu with questions.